It was the year of our Lord, 1602. A bitter evening hung over the Swedish countryside. The sun had slipped behind the hills, leaving the snow in a dim blue glow. The road was quiet, but heavy with shadow, the forest looming on either side. On that lonely road walked three men, a village priest, solemn and watchful, and two farmers, one older and cautious, the other younger, curious and restless. Their breath rose in pale clouds as they pressed on, hoping to reach the town by nightfall. It was then, as the last light of day faded, that they saw her, a maid, no more than 20 years of age, her cloak plain, her hair fair and loose, her face pale in the twilight. She stood at the roadside as if waiting for them, though no footprints marked the snow around her. Her voice was soft, calm, and certain. "May I walk with you?" The priest hesitated, his hand tightening on his rosary. The elder farmer muttered about omens, but the younger, pitying her, said, "It is not right to leave a woman alone on this road." And so, without another word, she joined their company. They walked in uneasy silence. The maid kept pace with them, her steps light, her gaze unreadable. At last, through the trees, they saw it, an inn at the crossroads. Its windows glowed with firelight, its roof heavy with snow. Grateful for warmth, they stepped inside. The room was thick with smoke and firelight. Farmers crowded the benches, mugs of ale in hand, while the innkeeper bustled at his counter. The travelers shook off the snow, but the maid went straight to the bar. Her voice carried calm and commanding. "Bring me a jug of ale." The innkeeper faltered, glancing at the priest, then at the girl, but her gaze allowed no refusal. Slowly, he fetched a jug, filled it, and set it before her. She lifted it with both hands and raised it to her lips. But what she drank was no ale. Before every watching eye, the liquid shifted into acorns, bitter fruit of the forest, tumbling onto the floor. And finally, into dark, thick blood, gleaming red in the firelight. Gasps filled the room. The elder farmer clutched his chest and crossed himself. The younger only stared, wide-eyed, unable to look away. Even the priest's voice trembled as he whispered a prayer. The maid lowered the jug, her expression unchanged. Her words were clear, steady, and heavy as stone. "So it shall be. First, you will have grain. Then, you will live on the forest's gifts. And last, blood will flow." Her voice lingered in the smoky air. And then, she was gone. No trace. The jug rolled across the floor. The priest swore it was the devil's work. The elder farmer whispered of famine and war. But the younger, he stared into the shadows, wondering if they had heard a warning sent by God himself. To this day, they say she was no ordinary woman. The maid of 1602 was a messenger, a harbinger of hunger, of plague, of bloodshed. A figure who came from nowhere and vanished into legend. In the years that followed, her words proved true. First came the grain. Sweden prospered for a time, fields were full, and bread was plentiful. But then, famine struck, harvests failed, winters grew bitter, and peasants lived on bark bread and acorns from the forest, just as she had warned. Soon after, Sweden was torn from within. Kings fought for the crown, Protestants clashed with Catholics, and uprisings shook the land. Villages burned, neighbors turned against each other, and disease followed hunger. And finally, the blood, war with Denmark, and then the Great War across Europe. The 30 Years' War dragged on, and Sweden sent its sons to battle, never to return. Blood flowed not only on foreign soil, but in Swedish villages as well. Every word of the maid's prophecy was fulfilled. Whether she was angel or demon, no one can say. But in the winter of 1602, a pale maid on a snowy road told Sweden its future, and every word came true.